Welcome back to Been There, Watch That, and it is Oscar month. Storied history. Since 1929, there's been over 3,000 Oscar statues handed out to actors, directors, every other part of the business, the effects. This month, we're doing something a little bit different. We are looking at the 2021 nominees for the 2022 Oscars, which is the 93rd Oscars awards ceremony. And we've got a list of 10 or 12 films nominated for Best Picture. And we're going to do those as our pick for the next couple times. This time it is Nightmare Alley.
Man,
This will be the challenge. We got to figure out the pronunciation of this director. Guillermo del Toro, I believe. That sounds right.
Sounds good to me.
And this will be, he's already won one Oscar for The Shape of Water. I don't know if you guys have seen that. That was in 2000. That was a 2017 film, and now he's back, being
wow.
nominated once again for Nightmare Alley, starring Bradley Cooper.
What a movie. I
Oh
did
my
not
gosh.
I'm not a big fan of like new movies usually. Like I'm an 80s guy. But
Right.
man, what a movie.
Yeah,
This-
I knew coming in today. I was just that
And
would be something I'd be continuing to say. Like, wow, I don't.
I'd never heard of
This
it.
is
Well,
this is a wild one.
Yeah, this was actually a remake.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did not know that. Well, here's
Based
the
on a
thing.
book.
Well, it was a movie back in the 40s, but the director they said he went more the direction of the book. So it's technically not a remake of the movie, but there's hints and sprinklings of it throughout.
Very
Oh,
parts are
Very long?
very violent. Definitely not a fast moving movie. I mean, it moves along, but as I finished watching last night, I was like, I'm thinking Jim might have been twiddling his thumbs a little bit here and there for this one.
How'd you
The
know?
pace does not, and that kind of seems like, I don't know. The critics like a slow, drawn out, artsy kind of movie.
That's because they're old and slow and drawn out.
Yeah, what was the runtime on this? It felt
2 hours.
long.
It was over 2 hours.
It felt
really? Wow. I don't know. See, I kind of enjoyed it because I think Peace movie is kind of my deal. I was trying to predict where we were going with it, and I wasn't sure.
I was not either.
Especially in the beginning where he was quiet. Bradley Cooper's character was quiet and just
even
didn't say a
talk
lot.
for the first 5 minutes. Yeah.
No,
You know-
11 minutes. He
Ah.
met so his first word 11 minutes and
Yeah.
16 seconds.
Because he, just the whole, you couldn't tell what he was doing at the house that he left.
He starts
it-
with him dragging a body and then burning it.
And I wasn't positive it was a body.
Oh, okay.
I kind of thought maybe that was a trick because it was something wrapped up. I mean, I was kind of like, that's a body. But then I was like, well, just not enough information there. But,
2.5 hours.
wow. Yeah, so,
And I felt every bit of it.
oh, I loved it. I was like, man,
Really?
I was like, this so much foreshadowing, so much work to establish the story. Because, I mean, then at the end of the movie, you see the,
It
Oh
really
my gosh.
literally becomes full
That
circle.
twist
Yeah.
at the end was
oh
pretty
my
crazy.
gosh, how, I knew that though. I knew when he walked in where that was going.
Yeah.
When
Yeah, I
at
could
the end
see
he
that.
did the little, well, I'm shoot, not a mind reader, but mentalist. I'm a mentalist. Let me give you just a. He's like, nope, but
His,
I do
uh,
have a job.
The
Yeah.
lady that turns on him at the end, I kind of didn't see that coming. That was the psychologist lady
Yeah,
turning on him at the end.
no, that was coming.
Yeah.
her
Alright.
her demeanor in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was bad news.
yeah, and she told him that up front.
Yeah.
So you guys ready for
Yeah,
a run?
let's paint a picture for the audience here.
Oh, all right.
For those that haven't seen this one.
So, in 1940s New York, down on his luck, Stanton Carlyle endears himself to a clairvoyant and her mentalist husband at a traveling carnival. Using newly acquired knowledge, Carlyle crafts a golden ticket success by swindling the elite and wealthy. Hoping for a big score, he soon hatches a scheme to con a dangerous tycoon with help from a mysterious psychologist who might be his most formidable opponent yet. And now for the casting call. Bradley Cooper plays Stanton Carlyle, and he's known for A Star is Born and American Sniper. Kate Blanchett plays Dr. Lilith Ritter, and she's known for The Aviator. William Dafoe plays Clem Hoatley, and he's known for the Spider-Man movies. Rooney Mara is known plays Molly Cahill, and she's known for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and The Social Network. That's where you seen her.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman plays Bruno, and he's known for the Hellboy movies and the Beauty and the Beast series.
Well, and he did, what was that popular motorcycle gang show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sons of
And Sons of
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's big in that.
He's a gruff character.
Yeah.
Mary Steenburgen plays Mrs. Kimball, and she's known for Step Brothers.
Man, what a scary part she played in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Wow, we got to talk about that.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
And Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. David Strathairn plays Pete. He's known for Lincoln, Godzilla, and L.A. Confidential. Jim Beaver plays Sheriff Jedediah Judd. He's known for Deadwood and Breaking Bad. This one I did not catch. Tim Blake Nelson plays the Carney boss, and he was in Old Brother Where Art Thou and The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Old Brother Where Art Thou is one of my favorite movies, and I did not catch him in this one.
Well, see, and that's a lot of stuff like David Strathairn. You know, he was in A League of Their Own.
Mm-hmm.
He played a major role in that. Sneakers, which is an old movie that's pretty neat. I mean, he played a lot of stuff. Temple Grandin, We Are Marshall, you know, which is local to us here at Marshall University. L.A. Confidential's his billing for that.
Yeah,
That's
because
kinda crazy.
Because what I do is I pull up their IMDb's and
Yeah.
look at their popularity list and
Right,
what they're
right.
known for. And
I just mean he's in a lot of other big movies. Like he was in Matewan, which is about Matewan, West Virginia, which is home to us as well.
Yeah,
He was in a
He
lot of big
stayed-
movies.
he
And
stayed
L.A.
employed.
Confidential is not one that I would say is the movie.
over the years he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I-
Anyway, all right.
it's
Sorry.
that guy that I don't know his name, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen him in plenty of stuff.
yeah, so that finishes up
What
the
about,
casting call.
Willem Dafoe, is that
Yep.
in there?
Yeah, William Dafoe, Paul Anderson. I mean, William Dafoe played a good part in this. I couldn't figure him
Oh,
out
yeah,
either.
he played the scumbag very well.
Was he though? I mean, was he really
I
a
mean, he
scumbag?
was taking guys off the streets and turning them into a exhibit, and then dumping them half dead in the rain.
That's kind of the role of that position, though. And I mean, I
That's,
thought he was pretty forthright about it. You know, you find somebody and you know
Pretty.
that's already down on their luck and kind of, you know,
Turning them insane and having
they're
people
I mean, they already got to kind of be there.
forcing them to eat chickens.
So I did find out that actually was a common practice.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Let me see where it was.
That- That plays we've hinted at it a little bit. This turn at the very end of the movie, that's kind of a central thing. Is that there's these guys that they pick them up off the street and he said a 2-bottle-a-day type of drunk.
Yep.
Slip them some opium, like pretty much make them go mad and then put them in a cage and have people come see them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
The geek. they
yeah,
call him.
yes, the geek was originally from the word geck, meaning fool or simpleton, and a term used around circuses and carnivals to describe a wild man or woman.
Yep.
A typical geek show in the mid-19th century would have a person on stage biting the head off of an animal and drinking its blood. Often dragged out, the act of biting off the head was the pinnacle of the performance, leaving the audience with a scene of bloodshed and death.
Jeez.
Yeah, welcome to the 1940s at a carnival. You're not seeing that at the Black Walnut Festival anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, at
Yeah.
least not on
Get to
purpose.
see the hair. Yeah, you might see the hairy person, but not
Yeah.
part of the. Not
Yeah.
getting paid.
Yeah, you
He
will
or
see.
her's not getting paid.
Yeah, you will see sites that you go, where do I pay a ticket for? But
Yeah, I mean that was the whole thing. I mean, to take gross and scary
disturbing.
like fetuses
Oh,
in
yeah.
jars and
Yeah.
scary hairy people and electric people doing shows.
Yeah,
with-
doing the electric
the
show.
electric-
Back then, that would have been startling because electricity was still, not mainstream like it is now, where it's everywhere.
Who wanted to see the little person guy actually fight somebody? Part of his act was he's like, I'm trained in all these
Yeah.
kung fu type things. It's the a guy that's like 3 foot tall and he challenges anyone in the crowd to come and fight him.
Yeah.
They didn't follow through with that though. We didn't get to see that fight.
It's kind of neat. So this is a re-adaptation of the book that was written in 1946. Now there was a 1947 picture, but it wasn't based off that. So the book was originally written by William Lindsay Gresham.
You guys
Which
haven't
happens.
seen Shape of Water, right?
Yeah.
You have
No.
seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's very similar.
Yeah. dark and kind of.
Yeah, kind of sit
Strange.
kind of sit with in the past and very strange.
Yeah.
Strange premise. So yeah, man, I did not expect this movie to be this good. I'll be honest with you.
Well, the director, I mean, where does he find time to have a normal life? He's been nominated 113 times.
What?
Wow.
He's had 48 wins. I mean, not all those are Oscars, obviously.
What?
There's more minor,
No way.
Golden Globe, he's won. British Academy Film Awards, he's won 2 of those. I mean, list goes on and on. There's all these
That's
awards.
I've never even heard of this director.
At some point, he must be like.
What's
"Man,
some of his other big ones?
I can't show up for that one. I've had enough of these awards. Pan's Labyrinth is his big movie.
Never heard of it.
Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know about that one.
It was nominated for Best Original Screenplay.
2006 film.
It's not in English,
Ah.
but it Best
Huh.
motion picture, foreign language, Pan's Labyrinth.
Get
Nominated
this.
Golden Globe.
Set in Spain, 1944. So he keeps going back to these 40s
Mhm.
settings.
And I have to say, for this kind of content, it was kind of refreshing. It being a new movie
Yeah.
and not being so watered down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree.
Because that I'm
You
not.
mean the grittiness of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not saying you need to have gritty for grittiness sake, but typically a lot of these new movies are so watered down that it's like they'll say, yeah, he's a real bad guy and he'll bite the head off a chicken, but yet that's it. And
Well-
and this was like, oh no, you all see how bad this guy is?
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
him bite the head off the chicken.
Yeah. So, and that kind of ruthlessness was portrayed throughout the whole movie, I thought.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even the guy, like, I was kind of thrown with the guy that he goes to dupe. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is called a lie detector. We're going to ferret you out in a hurry.
Yeah.
And he was in this fortress, and, the bodyguard's sitting there eyeing him up, and he was like, what is going on? And then, you realize that he might not walk out of there.
Right.
So,
It's kind of the mob mentality.
yeah,
We
yeah.
should throw in that kind of what he develops into as a quote unquote mentalist, but he's using tricks with his assistant
Yeah.
to. I mean, he's still really good. He's able to pick up on all these
Subtleties,
clues.
yeah.
But basically, he's tricking people back then into forking over money for him to talk to spirits or
Yeah.
look into their soul
Past loved ones.
and do all these mentalist type things.
And the funny part is, did you guys catch the guy that he poisoned and killed, that taught him everything so he could
Pete.
get his book? Yeah, Pete. Did you guys catch that Pete said, hey, he was astounded or maybe abashed by the fact that Pete went back and told someone after the show, was like, hey, this is not real. It's just a show. And he's like, why would you could give them hope? And he's like, you never give them hope. And this leads down this road. It'll kill you.
Right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I never thought that would be the poignant part of the movie that would come back later and be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys picked up on
'cause
that.
if you keep
'Cause
the
it's
lie
so
going-
subtle, so
keep
subtle.
the lie going too long, then
Yeah.
you get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
are like,
But
they have this thing where you tell them, "Oh, your dead relative is with you now," and
Yeah.
then they're tracing you down after the show because they want more of that.
yeah,
connection.
I'll pay you more.
They
to-
want more of the connection with their relative.
He's like, you could have took their money. He's like, no. But to me, that was the point of the movie that I had to go back and watch a little bit again because I was like, that was the hook. But I almost missed it.
Yeah.
And I had to go back and kind of catch it again to pick it up. I don't. Did you guys pick that up at all during that scene when he's there and he's kind of drunk and he's telling him that?
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it came back at the end of the movie and you're like, yep. Phew. That or how
I mean, that was what that caused so much problems with the lady from Step Brothers, that
Yeah.
actress.
yeah
'Cause
yeah.
she's totally distraught about her son who went
Oh
off
my
to war and
gosh.
got killed.
Her smile at the end of that is just freaky.
But he basically tells her like, "You're all gonna be together again
Yep.
soon," and
Uh-huh.
she decides.
We'll
"I'm
make
gonna
that happen, by golly.
Make that happen with a pistol right now.
And William Defoe telling him how you hook the geek and how Carnival works and giving him the inside scoop.
There's a lot of layers to this one. Yeah.
Well, and so when that happened, I'll be honest with you. When William Defoe was giving him his talk, I thought he's going to take William Defoe's place. because he's savvy, he's handsome. You know, the lady tells him when he's taking his bath, you know, right off the bat, you know, ooh, you're
Easy
trouble.
on the eyes, yeah.
Yeah, you're one of those guys. I think he's gonna trick William Defoe out of that lead spot. That's where I thought it was going.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Let's play the. You know, what was someone asked you about Nightmare Alley? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? What was the most poignant scene?
I have mine. Justin, do you want me
You
to
go ahead.
Okay. The scene right after when it's all opens up to him, like, you know, this is all an act. This is how we do it. When they're sitting down at that table and they basically just start spilling their guts on, this is how things work.
Yeah,
And you know, here's the trigger words that tells me.
what the item is.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
and they just start, because that's basically the foundation of
Mhm.
how he springboards into.
What's behind the smoke and mirrors?
Yeah.
Yeah, that peek behind the curtain, yeah, for me, that was kind of unique to this movie and was stuck with me. Was, you know, they're under the stage with like a mirror, doing tricks and stuff to, you know, pretending that, you know, people put their question in an envelope. They pretend to burn them. They're actually like
Yeah.
they put them under the stage. You know, magic tricks that they're using
Yeah.
to deceive people.
So hold on, what Justin? What part was that? The mirror scene where they're
I mean,
tricking the crowd real quick like that, or what part was it for you?
I'd say more just the arc of Bradley Cooper's character, seeing him
Yeah.
get to all these heights of fame and making much money to how far it falls. That's what sticks with me. How far he crashes and burns.
Yeah, it's crazy. My scene for me is when Mary Steinburn, who's the mom that, you know, wants to see her son who's already dead, when she smiles and pulls the trigger on herself. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
That was
Oh,
brutal.
yeah,
The,
that
the,
one.
the castle just tumbled. You know, the house of cards just fell.
Yeah.
And I was like, that scene is so eerie and so gripping.
There's a lot of tension,
That stuck in my mind because I was like, oh my.
and they did that cutaway with the camera, but they didn't like cut away and then you hear the shot or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a split second of. Like,
Oh gosh.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And when she shot him, I just couldn't. That whole scene, I was just like. So to me, that kind of described the movie. You just don't see the punches coming.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see her shoot him, and then when she turned the gun on herself, that really
Yeah. Well, I mean, and
caught me off guard.
the way the director set that up, he did that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know, he did that with the mirror scene. You know, you're kind of watching this play out with the crowd, and then all of a sudden you see her look down at the mirror, and you see the guy underneath. You know, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I did not see that coming. You know, the electric thing, did not see that coming. You know, the geek coming out and ripping the head off the chicken, did not see that coming. I was like, what's he gonna? Is he gonna pounce on this thing and just start eating like meat?
Well, and the
But
thing
he
of it
rips
was,
the head off.
Well, and what's crazy is they show the whole time before they throw the chicken in, there's snakes
Yeah.
in there too. So you're going, okay, where's all this going? Because there's snakes in
Yeah.
the scene, and
Yeah, what's going on? So that's what I'm saying. To me, the poignant parts were those quick, just punch you straight in the nose.
yeah,
You know,
didn't
as
see
you
it
said, it's
coming.
kind of gristly.
Yeah,
You know,
the blind sides.
yeah. So good movie for that type of
Yeah, I mean that
action.
shot they show after he's pummeled the rich guy at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
Oh,
grisly. Too.
grisly, yeah.
His nose was totally like caved in. Like,
yeah,
He
And-
did not point punches with, and they runs the guy over shortly after. and
yeah. Oh
Twice.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
twice.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
hits him, and then he's like seriously injured, and then run
Yeah.
over.
yeah. Holt McCauley,
Oh man.
McCallany. So yeah, brutal movie.
Now, I did find this interesting.
Yeah.
So, during a January 2022 interview with Terry Gross on NPR program Fresh Air, Mr. Del Toro said that one of the reasons he had long been interested in the subject of grifters and fake psychics who prey on vulnerable and grieving people, like the ones depicted in the movie, was that in 1998, when his father was kidnapped in Mexico and held for ransom, his family was immediately preyed upon by con artists claiming to be psychics. Del Toro recounted, quote, one of the first warnings that came from the hostage negotiator, he said, beware of the psychics, quote unquote psychics. They are going to show up really early, and no sooner had I hung up the phone than I went to see my mother, and there were two psychics sitting in the living room telling her they knew where they could lead us to where my father was because they could sense him.
Huh.
And this made an indelible impression.
Yeah.
And that cruelty, which I saw firsthand, also is part of the spirit in this movie, unquote.
I believe that.
It still goes on today. You know,
Oh,
somebody's
yeah.
missing a loved one, they just disappear. Then they get desperate and they go to a psychic to
Yep.
try to lead me. Can you sense where they are? I mean, it's still
Yeah,
going on in 2022.
yeah, it's not that far of a concept.
So, Joe, do you have a who would you rather see?
Oh, would you rather? Yes, I do. It's a very short would you rather list,
Yeah.
but I do have would you rather. Okay.
I'm curious on this one because I feel like this is not a cut and dry movie.
Yeah, this go. So I have two characters.
Yeah.
And one option for first character and two options for the second character.
Okay.
So okay. So for the role of Stanton Carlisle, would you rather see Bradley Cooper or Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I liked Leonardo DiCaprio in Can You Catch Me, where he was a con man,
Yeah.
a very convincing con man.
Catch me if you can.
Or
Yeah,
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah,
yeah.
with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I mean, he played that role fantastic. So I feel like he could be a good
Yeah,
con man.
He could pull it off for sure.
Yeah. So I think either or.
Okay. So
And he's pretty handsome.
okay.
Here's the thing though, he doesn't have Bradley Cooper's blue eyes.
Yeah, but he's got that suave that I think
He
could-
does, but I
yeah.
mean Bradley Cooper stands out amongst a lot of people because he's got those bright blue eyes,
Right.
and that makes him appear a little more charming, I think.
Yeah.
But I think Leonardo DiCaprio could have pulled it off.
Yeah. Very easily.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, I almost think Leonardo would be more slimy.
yeah, he could get that little extra.
Yeah, he could be a little better.
Yeah. A little more conniving, a little
yeah.
more.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
so,
a good
so
one. Joe.
this would be an interesting one to see play
Yeah.
out.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's all I could find for Mr. Carlisle. So
Yeah.
for Molly Cahill or Cahill or however we pronounce her last name,
Yeah.
would you rather
She's
see
the electricity girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Okay.
main female character.
would you rather see Rooney Mara play it or Jennifer Lawrence?
Nah.
Oh.
Jennifer Lawrence is not that.
No
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. Or Lady Gaga.
I think let's stick with Mooney or whatever.
Rooney.
Well, have you guys seen what's the movie she did with Bradley Cooper where he's a country singer?
Let me
Stars
see.
Born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys seen that?
Yep. That's pretty good.
They had good chemistry.
You're right.
That's the only reason I would consider her is because they had good chemistry. You know, for a singer, I was impressed with her acting skills.
Yeah. I think she has more of the girl who's in it has more of that old timey 1940s.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. She looked the part and kind of had the voice for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked kind of 1940s.
They would had to do some extra work to get Lady Gaga to look to fit that role. Is what you're saying?
She could pull it off
She's,
too.
I don't know. I saw her in A Star Is Born, and she's got a lot of Bronx in her.
That'd be kind of hard to.
Like she has that voice and kind of that swagger of a New York girl.
Yeah.
Where this lady, she fit the time period somehow.
She
I
was
don't
super
know.
reserved at first too.
Yeah.
Yeah. She almost
She
like
played
they
the-
literally just pulled her out of the 1940s.
Yeah,
and
and
slapped
stuck her in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about that. Yeah.
She's real shy at first and
Yeah.
played that pretty well.
I'm
but-
going with Justin. No Jennifer Lawrence. No Lady Gaga.
Nope.
I was gonna say I was. I mean, it was obvious, pretty easy when you guys shot down Jennifer Lawrence, but hear the banter back and forth. I was like, okay, I was waiting to see how this was roll out because
Yeah.
you guys almost
Well, just because of their chemistry with Bradley Cooper and A Star Is Born.
right. That one, I was almost to see if you guys was actually going to teeter on that one or not. Dave's getting the pin back out. That makes twice this episode, so we must be
Yeah, I
hitting some
know.
big
Were
triggers
you guys
here.
impressed with Kate Blanchett's performance?
I was.
Me too.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
was evil.
She was able to go back and forth. She treated him with indifference, but then also acted like she cared for him.
Lord of Men, yeah.
Yeah.
She played him big time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because all along he thought he was playing her. It seemed
Oh
like.
yeah. He was a
But
con
she
man.
let it happen, and then
You know, don't con the con man or
Yeah.
con woman.
I mean he gave her tons of money that he was making off this side hustle where he's duping really rich guys, and he didn't want his girl to know about it, so he's trusting her with a bunch of money.
What I don't understand is why I mean, I know he had to get her in to get the information, but man, you take that money and you hide it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a moron. Anyway.
What'd she call him at the end? You're just like you're an Okie with straight teeth or something.
Yep.
Like calls him
Yeah.
basically
A hick.
a hick.
A pretty hick.
Yeah.
Doesn't know any better.
And okay, my dad and I were debating this a little bit. Like, why? What was her motivation for totally turning on him at the end? Does it all stem from him kind of humiliating her at that live show where he was like in front of everybody, basically saying she had like
I think she
issues
just,
or something?
in my
or-
opinion, she knew he was trouble and he wasn't as smart as he thought he was. You know, and you don't keep a liability. You
But
get
she
rid
said
of them.
She didn't care about the money. He was like, "Why did you do this?" When
Yeah.
she hands him off the suitcase, and instead of thousands of dollars, she replaced it with singles.
She said she didn't care with the money. He said that before he realized she gave him all ones. So I mean, she kept the money. She kept the 30,000, which would have been a butt ton of money back then.
She said something like, "Who's the powerful one now?" Or
Yeah.
like something.
I mean,
like it was like a power
I think
play.
for me, it was because he was treating her as if she was just a piece to be moved, and she was like, "Yep, I just skewed your whole game, buddy,
I thought
and
it might
stole
have
your
been,
money."
Yeah, I thought it might have been.
A power play.
Well, yeah, like I you're no longer any of value to me.
Yeah.
I've gotten everything out of you that I possibly can. So
And-
be gone.
So you mentioned the scene in the beginning where he kind of got the best of her. I almost wonder if that wasn't purposeful, because she needed to lure him in. She needed him to jump on the rich guy she was with. And that led to the more rich guy, because she kind of dropped hints about, because he's like, you got to find, he wants to introduce me to her friends. Oh, by the way, I had a session with him. So
Yeah, she's
I almost think she orchestrated that by letting him manipulate her in that first round and got his interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a big shot psychologist,
Yeah.
so she's able to get this inside info that then she can give to him, and he's able to use it with these clients, and they're like, "How the heck did he know that?"
Right.
Well, he knew it because he went and got it from her.
Got it from her, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like she didn't need the money. It's like she just wanted to take his money just to destroy him.
Yeah.
It's like not. She could take it and throw it off into the river if she wanted to. Like, it didn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, it's just a wild twist. Like we've already covered. Like, yeah, he thought he had the upper hand, and literally just that
Bam.
quick. It's like, oh no, you thought you was pulling the strings. No, you had the string. You was tying yourself up in the strings.
Yeah.
You're the puppet. You're not the puppeteer.
Yeah, kind of crazy. A huge, and again, that's just you had the visual gut punches coming at you, and then you had this, think piece behind the scenes where you had to try to figure all this out and see where it was going, and I did not see it going where it did.
I will say I thought the sets were very solid. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
a lot of money went into
Yeah.
I don't know, setting up the carnival. I mean, it looked
That's a
really
good point.
Yeah.
Joe, give us the rundown on the price.
Yeah, let me pull that up. I
and
forgot.
all these like big buildings they're in. They just have like this look of the 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know how
It's
they.
so dark and gloomy.
Yeah.
Okay, so ooh.
You know what made me think, Justin, when you're saying that is, you know how it was rainy and crappy? I mean, can you imagine taking down all that canvas
Yeah.
and all that stuff in the
Packing up that,
mud?
yeah.
And what a miserable
That's
job.
how he very first gets the job is because there's a storm coming and
Yeah,
he
he
just
won.
happens to be getting off the bus and they're like, "We'll put you to work
Yeah.
tearing down the carnival."
But I mean, can you imagine having to do all that crap in the rain? If a storm rolled through, which it seemed like it did a lot in this movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all your stage stuff is out, all those canvases are out in the rain. Just, oh, that suck.
Time to guess the budget.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Now keep in mind, Now this one, the budget on this was kind of weird, because this movie, part of it was shot before the pandemic shut down, and then most of it was shot afterwards. So, I guarantee that had something to do with the budget.
Might have inflated it a little bit.
Yes. So keep that in mind. So,
I'm gonna say 60.
okay, Dave.
Really? Wow. I was thinking more like 30.
Okay, so Dave's 30 and Justin's.
But you're saying it's inflated, Joe, so I'm going 40.
okay. Justin hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
Estimated $60 million.
Really?
Yes.
Alright.
How do they put $60 million into a movie?
Again, this was so you got to think pre-COVID, post-COVID, the price hikes, plus it's hard to tell how much money was spent just to idle
Yeah.
when nobody
Well,
was able to work.
You know what, though, too? The cast on this is so strong.
Yeah, that.
I mean, what does Bradley Cooper go for? And then you got Kate Blanchett, and then you got William Defoe, Ron Perlman. Richard Jenkins, Mary Strongbone, David Strahan. Those are like secondary actors for the most part.
But
Tim
still,
Nelson. I mean, but you still have 4 or 5 main actors in this day and age.
right?
And then 4 or 5 really strong B actors.
Yeah, recognizable actors.
Yeah, there's a lot of recognizable actors. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I could kind of see that costing them.
I'm showing, earlier this year in January, they were saying this movie had only made like 10 million.
Yeah, what I'm seeing right now
It's-
is gross U.S. sales was a little over 11 million, and worldwide was over 37 million.
So they're halfway home.
Yeah.
Huh. I think they'll get there. I think it's hard because movie theaters and stuff are just now opening back up.
Well, in this movie opening weekend, we're on 2.8 million. This was just in December, so
Yeah,
we're
so
only
we're only 2 months in, 3
Yeah.
months in.
yeah,
Yeah, so they still got time.
yeah,
And I think the more people watch it, this one will catch fire.
yeah.
I mean, wow. What an interesting story.
Well, there's people already saying it's flopped. I mean, just based on that opening weekend, they're like, this is a flop.
Really?
There's a story. Why did Nightmare Alley flop so hard?
It came out right close to Christmas. I mean,
Yeah, not really a Christmas movie.
yeah.
What do you guys think of the ending? Do you remember what he said?
Oh
I
yeah,
was born for this.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, how crazy was that?
It seemed like I mean, obviously he totally knew he was going to be turned into a geek and didn't care at that point. I mean, that was kind of weird.
Well, I kind of perceived it as, at this point in his life, all the crap he's had to deal with, is like, you know what? At this point, I don't care.
Yeah, I think he was just at the point. Yeah, I agree with Joe. Just like,
'Cause
I'm
that
at the
point,
bottom, so yep, this is the role you play.
He had killed 2 people and basically traumatized the
3.
love of his life and
Yeah, 3.
pushed her out. And
His dad.
his dad, too.
Yeah,
Wow,
lost the
I
love
forgot.
of his life and did exactly what he said he
This is-
wasn't going to do.
Running on rocket fuel for so long and then it just
Yep.
burned out, and then he was like, I
Well,
can't run anymore.
well, and then he tried to play and then got played.
Yeah.
And just it's
They
like,
get mentally wrecking.
yeah. At this point, at this point, what do I have to lose? I'm going to have a little bit of money coming my way. And if I have to bite the head off a chicken to get it, let's do it.
And the psychologist woman, she plays to his ego and basically says, like, you can, because the whole time before he's the guy that never touched this stuff. I don't drink alcohol, but she kind of played him a little bit and said, "Oh, nothing can slow you down. Go ahead and have a drink." And then, boy, that turned out to not be the case.
Yeah, yeah. Alcohol. did
Fast
not-
forward a little bit, he's got a huge beard and he's pawning his watch for some alcohol and traveling on trains and everything else.
Yeah, it took him a while to get to the top, but man, it was a fast ride down.
I mean, even
Yeah,
if he's
my
a
gosh.
Unlikable character. I was kind of rooting for him to get out of that situation where the psychologist played him and was trying to get him arrested. Like when he
Yeah.
escaped and like got on the train and hid behind his stuff and got out of there, I was like, all right, good.
So he hid behind some chickens.
Yeah, yeah. How convenient.
Yeah. Well, as you were watching it, like, do either of you sit there and wonder, like, is there some sort of, what is like the deeper message, or is there some sort of, I don't know. I thought there was like something going on that I was just kind of missing and couldn't quite put my finger on. Like,
Okay,
there's some
so I'm
sorta-
not alone on that.
is there some sort of deeper thing going on with this? Like, is this an allegory for something, or?
Well, because I was sitting there watching it, and well, when it first right out of the barrel, we see his dead body being dragged across the floor, and then all of a sudden you flip to this carnival scene. I'm going, what? Why? And so the whole time I'm sitting there going, okay, what's really going on? So yeah, to a point, I'm with you on that, Justin. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what? And I'm just sitting there trying to put the pieces of that puzzle together, and literally nothing's adding up.
Yeah, that was the beauty of it for me, though. Twists and
It kept me
turns.
guessing for sure.
Yeah,
Because, I get so sick of seeing movies now that are just the same old plot.
right.
Rom-coms. Oh, they don't get along. Oh, they're turning into, love of my life by the end of the movie.
I call it the Hallmark movie syndrome.
Yeah.
Lady moves back to small town to find true love.
Yeah,
only to
God.
divorced lady moves back to her hometown,
Yeah.
only to find out true love was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's a dog.
Yeah. Or a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Phew, gosh, and there's so much of that crap, and then they're remaking movies. So to have something like this come out and just be fresh.
But
I mean, and it's not like it's a new story necessarily,
but it's a remake.
It is, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not carbon copy.
Right.
A lot of little intricate details.
It's not a carbon copy, and it's not a watered down version.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys see Hellboy?
Oh yeah.
No.
I guess after that, like, studios were just clamoring to the director, Del Toro, to do, like, every superhero movie, and he
Yeah.
turned them all down.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
decided to do that Pan's Labyrinth, which is just like a...
Well,
Perfect.
I can understand
Cult
because
classic,
at one point you would just be so just blah with the deal, and
Well,
you
and-
probably catch yourself just watering it down just to get through.
how smart is it? I mean, I'm sure after a couple of his movies here, he's in a spot where he can turn it down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, creatively, he knows that he can get more mileage turning stuff down instead of just bringing money in regardless.
yeah.
Born in Guadalajara, Mexico, started out in the industry doing special effects, and then eventually moved over to directing. Yeah, I mean, I might say the pacing did feel a little slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be a one critique. But, I mean, visually, and like we talked about already, the grittiness and the twists and turns, I mean, gets high marks for that, but at times, yeah, a little slow in the way it moves.
But I have to say, when they was showing the whole electric chair setup, when they go, "What's the wheel for?" Well, that's just decoration.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was hilarious. Like, oh, that is awesome.
That doesn't do anything. That's just all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm thinking back, just going back through the reels, and even maybe I might change my poignant scene to the sheriff.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just where the sheriff comes in to shut him down, because it's all blasphemy. He's a holy roller that's coming in to get rid of these scandalous con artists and
The girl
skimpy
is
dressed girls.
Skimpy
and
dressed.
yeah, and he's like, "Don't touch that," the arm, which does absolutely nothing.
Right.
And fools them just with that. This is an emergency. I
Yeah.
just saved your deputies' lives. And he does a quick read on him, his first mentalist act to save the whole carnival. And I was just like, man,
Yeah, when he was,
how easy is it to prey on people like that?
and then he's like giving his play-by-play after, like,
Yeah.
explaining how he's able to do all the reads. That was pretty fun. Like,
Yeah, I'm surprised he did that. He kind of fell into it, but see, I think there's a little bit of foreshadowing. He kind of was too full of himself.
Yeah.
A real con man wouldn't have said anything, just been like, I did what I had to do. And let it be at that. But he was reveling in that.
He figured it out.
And everybody loves me in this newfound spotlight, and I'm the man. And
yeah.
he kind of rolled into that, and that's when I knew he was in trouble, because he was bragging. I was like, yeah, real con men don't brag. Like the guy that taught him and gave him the book.
Yeah.
He was super subtle about what he knew, and he gave a little demonstration. Like, that's all there is. And he was a true artist.
Right.
Bradley Cooper walked down the wrong road there.
What scene, I think?
Yeah.
She was right in line with us. The action, the gory scenes was wow, but a little slow in spots, kind of. I think that's my biggest complaint with the movie was like they could have tightened some of it up in spots. Could have. It was 2.5 hours. I just
Well, on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience didn't appreciate it. 68%.
Really?
Critics 80.
I don't see that.
68 seems a little low to me. 7.1 on IMDb out of 10.
Huh.
Best picture of the year? I don't know. I appreciate it for this show. It gives us a lot to talk about, and it's unique. And
yeah, it's a little different than what we've been watching, but yeah.
picture of the year, though.
Okay, so I can see it being in the category,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to bring home the award.
Right.
I'll be shocked if it does. I'll put it that way.
So hold on, what was the rating?
We'll have to wait till March 27th. That's when the Oscars start.
What was the rating again?
IMDb 7.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes audience 68.
Okay.
Critics 80.
To give you an idea, The Hangover, which also starred Bradley Cooper as one of the main characters, 7.7 and 79%. The Hangover was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a lot of unique scenes in it. But was it better than this?
Well,
to that
for
degree?
what as a comedy, it's a good
Yeah, I
comedy.
guess
Maybe
it
not.
is.
You
It's
can't compare apples and oranges, maybe,
Yeah, it's true.
comparing the two.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Nightmare Alley.
So we are.
Man, I don't know. I'm kind of torn now. I know where you're going here, Joe, but I'm
Okay.
torn.
You're
I'm
up in the air?
rethinking it. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe it's not as good as what I thought.
Joe, when something is being nominated for Best Picture, does that color your? Do you come into it saying, "Well, this must be pretty good," or do you come in with clean slate and say, "I'm going to judge this on its own"?
I always come in with a clean slate because when I hear that kind of stuff, I have to remember that these people were coming from a Californian's point of view, and a lot of those people out there, we sit and laugh and go, "What were they thinking?"
Yeah.
So sometimes when I hear the critics say, "Well, this is phenomenal," or "This is garbage," I'm going, "Nah, just wait a minute." Because so last week we discussed Tommy Boy, and Roger Ebert, one of the most respected movie critics in the world of all time, said Tommy Boy made the list of worst movies ever made.
Yeah.
And I'm going, yeah, that's awful far stretch for me.
Yeah.
So now seeing it, I can understand why it's in that category. I don't think it's going to bring home the award, but I can see why the critics are falling over it.
You can't deny, I think, just whether or not it's like a great movie or not. It's definitely well made. Like the production on it is solid.
Yes.
The acting is solid, and I mean all the work that went into the sets and everything else is definitely impressive.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm. This is a kind of a complex movie to review because it's one of those. I can't. It's one of those hard to refer to somebody, but again, on the flip side of the coin, it's not one of those. It can't justify a small or a burnt.
You guys want an outside perspective?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, watched it with my dad last night, and afterwards, I got to ask him his popcorn rating, and I kind of joked to him saying another medium because he keeps picking medium. And he said, "You know what? I'm gonna do a large, maybe a couple handfuls out of the large taken out, but he went large.
Okay.
Not an overflowing.
Yeah.
He said overflowing medium or large.
He's a
That's where
pretty
he's at.
smart guy, though. He's very intellectual, so I could see that. This movie, I think I know Joe, there were some gunshots in there.
Yeah.
And
And
maybe-
the guy got run over with a car.
yeah, a little bit of a car chase kind of deal. But outside of that, it's not your typical action thriller. It
Right.
wasn't necessarily a comedy. So for the average person, this could be a tough movie.
Yeah. Well, plus the runtime. The runtime's
Yeah,
a biggie.
that's
for
what I
me.
mean. For 2.5, I didn't notice the 2.5 hours. I was caught up in the story and trying to figure out where it was going. So I would have guessed an hour and a half. I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't brought it up. Man, I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I could see for the average person, but
I will say, even if you hear the synopsis, it doesn't really give you any inkling. I mean,
oh
it's
yeah,
not
you have
the
no
broad-
idea.
the broadest strokes, but you can read that synopsis and then watch this and be totally taken on all the twists and turns. and
Yeah, but
not see it
surprised how it all plays out because you hear the plot of this guy. The plot of it is this guy becomes a mentalist and he starts going after the rich people and then it backfires and you're going, okay.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, he gets too big for his britches and he cons the wrong rich man and he kills him. That's it. No, not even close.
Yeah.
Because that's when I first thought going into it. It's like, okay, big deal. He becomes this mentalist, gets too cocky,
Yeah.
and they just kill him. Nope, not even close.
Yeah.
Something much worse in store for him.
And when I first thought he was getting cocky, I thought like, okay, he put his hand in the pot one too many times, took too much money. It's like, no, what finally done it? It was he started bringing in other people involved and making them part of the act, and then gets caught. And I'm going, oh yeah, I would justify them killing him off as well, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, him pulling his girl in at the end and involving her in his
Yeah.
crap was.
And the fact that she went along with it after she said no.
She was basically telling him like, "This is it. After this, I am done."
Yeah.
Because he goes and begs her, and he's crying in the bathroom stall and stuff. And she's too big of a heart. She said, "All right, I'm gonna give this guy one more chance," and ends up becoming accessory to
Yeah,
double
murder.
homicide.
So
Yeah.
there's a couple reasons it underperformed that they list here on this website.
Okay.
Is that it was released, in COVID, during COVID. It was meant for audiences in the older age ranges, which were less people going to the movies at that age range.
Okay, but no, time out.
Now, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. And it debuted as the same time as hold on, I just lost it. Shoot. It debuted at the same time of a couple other movies that they felt like hurt it. Spider-Man and No Way Home.
So, okay, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay, the new Spider-Man movie. I was going to say, because this was released in December, so
Yeah, so they just felt like
this
Spider-Man was a huge
right.
deal and the audience age wasn't going to movies.
Well, okay, so this was like, a week or two before Christmas.
Yep.
All those people were out Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
They don't have time to go see a movie.
I just think this isn't a teenager movie.
No, not at all.
So yeah,
Not at
I
all.
could see the underperformance.
But what I'm balking on is the COVID, the
yeah,
COVID
the code
excuse.
part. Well,
Okay, now hear me out, Dave.
yeah,
Now, if this was December 2020,
yeah,
I'd say absolutely I'll buy into that. But this is December 2021. This is only 3 months ago, guys.
yeah.
I'm
just-
not buying into that line. I'm sorry.
I just mean older people aren't going to movies like they used to.
okay, yeah, I'll
Now
buy into
younger
that.
people are like, I'm sure younger people beat up Spider-Man,
Yeah,
but older people like, like me, I'm not going to. Well, I don't go to the movies anyway, so that's a change.
right.
But I can't see an older person saying I'm definitely going to movies. See, this just because, as Justin pointed out, the trailer and stuff just don't hint at the depth.
Right.
So I feel
Yeah,
like
this one I think is going to be a smash hit on streaming services.
yeah, I think so too. I think it needs a little bit of traction and people to talk about it,
Yes,
like we're doing now.
exactly.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
All right, so do we want to go ahead and rate it?
yeah, I'm a large. I agree with
Really?
Mark. I don't think it has. I don't know. It didn't come near a mop bucket for me, just because I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think it's a well-rounded film.
Right.
I do agree that it is an older person type film, and I think that it's for someone that likes an intellectual movie that you don't see the twists and turns, you don't see the pattern playing out like you thought it might, and I think just the grisly, startling nature of some of the scenes is just fantastic,
Yeah.
but not enough to carry it to a mop bucket.
Right.
But still, disturbing, grisly, the face on the mom's smile when she shoots her husband and shoots herself.
Yeah.
Man, what a gripper.
Yeah.
But as you said, Joe, there's so much time in between. I mean, it's such a full story, but
It's a hard balance because if it was all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
I would be rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
But yet,
Well, that's what I mean. It's not for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
you noticed the 2.5 hours. I did not.
yeah.
So I don't feel like it was, that film that just hit a home run for everybody. You have to be a certain type of movie watcher to really think this is a home run.
Yeah, I don't think that they needed more of those gritty scenes, those grippers.
Yeah.
But I think if they would have just shortened up the slow parts, that would have helped it tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot there and there was a couple parts I just didn't understand. Like the lady that took him in for the bath. She grabbed him by his privates. But there wasn't romance, I don't think. Did you guys know what that scene was about?
Exactly.
I mean, he goes in for a bath and she says, "Oh, you're a looker. Oh, you're trouble." She grabs him by his ding dong and
Well, I think that family ends up kind of taking him under their wing, and part of that is Pete's okay with his wife sleeping with whoever she wants to. I guess.
Was that it? I mean, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, me either.
They had a
He was a
odd
drunk, and
relationship.
you know, and
Yeah.
she sent him off for breakfast. You know, as he's kind of doting on her with speaking French to her to remind her of their time in Paris.
Yeah, I think he's just. Yeah.
He's okay with it because he's
She's
a drunk.
just such a free spirit that
Yeah.
he's like, whatever. My wife's gonna do whatever she does, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with
I
it.
mean, maybe I just so like to me though that was miscellaneous.
See, it's something like that. They could have cut that out and not
Yeah,
affected
it had
the
no
story
bearing
at
on the
all.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because
think-
he treated that guy like a father figure. He started taking care of him. You know, going and getting his alcohol for him. You know, helping him with the shows when he was too drunk to do it right. And you know, so he was his caretaker, but yet sleeping with his wife. That's
I
kind
don't
of
know. Maybe
a weird
Yeah.
deal. Maybe I don't know. That kind of part was a little bit of a drawback for me because I agree with you, Joe. That didn't have to be there.
Yeah, because now if it would have played out that she was part of that scheme at the end,
Yeah.
that would have made perfect sense.
Yeah. If he'd have circled back or something. Yeah.
but
so.
it was just like it was just there. It's
So,
like,
yeah.
hey, we need a few minutes of filler. Let's
Right.
just throw
Yeah.
this in.
So that's why I'm a solid large.
Okay. All
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't have too much more to add other than I think just the acting and the quality of the filmography, is that the word? All the sets and all the
Cinematography.
cinematography, all the lighting, all the
Man, that was fantastic.
just the way it looked and the acting together, I think puts it at a large, and not like you said, Dave. It's not going mop bucket, and I definitely appreciate that pacing maybe could have been just a slightly quicker pace, but yeah, I mean, and like you said, I mean, I'm in the same boat as I don't want to see the same cookie cutter formula that I've seen many times, and this one kept me interested, kept me guessing, even if at times I was maybe wanting to speed up just a little.
Yeah.
I think you made a really strong point though. What a dark and like it almost seemed like it was always raining.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that? I mean,
Yeah,
it
thinking
wasn't.
back now,
it
yeah.
wasn't, but
But
man,
it had that
every
dark,
scene was
dreary-
kind of dark and tunnel vision and
Yeah.
dreary. Yeah, that's a good word, Joe. It was dreary. My gosh,
'Cause
snow.
even when they're
and rain.
inside, it's dark.
Yeah, like the night shows were all dimmed lights with
Yep.
spotlights,
Yep.
and you know the carnival was always dark, which gives me an appreciation for the care of the director, making it look that way, because a lot of times like circuses are bright lights, and blah blah blah, but in reality in the 40s, how in the world they didn't have that quality of light, they didn't have that ability, to light everything up, so it would have been dark and dim, so it made it super realistic.
But even the movie poster itself has a dark, dreary look.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
Yeah.
kudos for doing such a wild character arc. I mean, to
Yeah.
getting off the bus and finding your way in the carnival life to these,
And Okie with straight teeth.
these heights of being in these plush buildings and all the way back down to the carnival with a beard almost down to your
yeah.
shoes, looking crazy. I mean, yeah, it was something.
Wow. Okay. Joseph?
All right. So I'm gonna be a little different.
Yeah.
When I was watching it during those slow parts, I was going, "Oh, this is getting a small,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to tell me any different." And then it started picking up, and wow, did it pick up! So,
Yes.
so I'm going a solid medium on this one.
Okay.
If the runtime kind of got to me, the little slow pace,
Yeah.
and because I have a very short attention span, that's not a well kept secret. So some of those slow scenes, I found myself my mind wandering, and when it wanders, I'm wondering, okay, what's the deal with the dead body at the beginning, and
Yeah.
so I catch myself doing that, and then possibly missing valid plots of the story. So for me, it's hard to give it a large, but I have just because of all the good things we've talked about, just how it's all shot, and you didn't see, you expected the car to go left and it took a right, and just the wild ride you're on.
Mhm.
I can see why it's so critically acclaimed, but for me personally, I just cannot give it a large. So, but it's a solid medium all the way.
Overflowing, even maybe.
That's kind
You're not gonna talk him into that one.
yeah, that's kind of pushing.
They only had. They
How
only had
about
like.
okay? How about this? Not an overflow medium, but a medium with a couple extra kernels. How's
Yeah,
that?
where it's nice and the popcorn's coming out the top.
Yeah,
But not
You
overflowing.
spill it when you pick it up.
yeah,
Oh, man, we're getting down to the details on this rating
yeah.
system. A medium where you spill it where you pick it
Well,
up.
I mean, I think that says a lot for the movie, though. If you're, like I'm a solid large, but if you're kind of weighing in as like, well, it's a medium, but maybe a bit more.
Yeah,
Kudos to the movie,
yeah,
making you think that much. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Because and that's the thing. We're all sitting here debating it because a
Yeah.
lot of times it's just cut and dry. This is okay. For example, Justin, I know I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Oh,
I'm
not
sorry.
Die Hard again.
Yes. Okay, so right there, it's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So, Die Hard is a classic movie, but yet Justin
Yeah.
is sitting there going, "It's a small," and you cannot tell me otherwise. But yet here we all are discussing Nightmare Alley and have literally watched each other's ratings change throughout this entire discussion.
Yeah.
So it's a very
Well, yeah, that's
interesting pick.
the thing. You can always, when you're giving your rating, you're like, for me, and that's always valid because I mean, no one has the same taste in movies. So
Right.
for me, Die Hard was burnt, but but I'm not saying other people can't enjoy it. And maybe it is a classic action movie, but for me, that
Right.
whole thing.
Well, but I think that's what makes this interesting is because we're all coming from three different point of views.
Yeah. Yeah, and man, what an interesting deal.
And we're doing something that most of society can't not do, have an open discussion with differing views. Although we rake each other over the coals over it, but it's not like, I hate you because you don't agree with me and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of scary thinking that here we three are and that we're having a more adult conversation than a lot of people do. And I'm speaking just from my personal experience of myself.
Yeah.
That it's sad that if I'm thinking of myself as being the adult in a situation, that's bad.
I'm glad I saw it, but yeah, I'm not gonna go around telling everybody it's the greatest
Yeah.
thing I've ever seen.
No,
but-
I think it'd be if I find the right people.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, this would be a good movie for you to watch.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
that's what it'd come down to.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this: rewatchability. What's the chances of you guys going back and rewatching
way.
it?
No, I know all the twists and turns.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't.
Because that's like, man, it's like I watched it once.
Even on TV or something, I would not. sit
Yeah,
there
I
and
don't
watch
think-
Yeah, no.
I don't
That-
think
and
I can
that's-
sit through it again.
That's why it's a solid large, not any farther.
Yeah.
And a lot of my rating is based off of just the cinematography, as
Yeah.
Justin said, and just the directing. I think the directing was a home run.
A lot of side characters that did great job acting. I thought.
Yes, my gosh.
Yeah, that's where I had.
It wasn't all focused on the one main guy.
That's why I
Yeah.
had such a hard time
They added a lot.
of doing this of talking and trying to talk myself into a small. It's like there's you can see so much work has been put into this film that you're almost slapping the people in the face of going, yeah, all that work you did, I'm just going to dump on it and move on. It's it's not for everybody, but you can appreciate all the work that was
Yeah.
put into it.
Yeah.
All right. Do we keep Oscar month rolling and pick from another Best Picture nominee?
That's up to you guys.
It's your pick. What do you got going on there?
Because we've got till the end of the month for the actual Oscars.
I don't know. I didn't really.
Well, last time we all put our heads together and picked one.
Let me look at the Oscar list again.
Okay.
I mean,
I didn't see anything else on there that I was really drawn to.
I was
he
contemplating.
wants to see Don't Look Up.
Yeah, that's.
I've seen it though.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Coda is stellar ratings on Rotten Tomato. 95% and 93%.
Yeah, Don't Look Up would have been my pick.
I don't really know anything about West Side Story, but
Yeah.
It's another remake, so that's all you need
You know,
to
it's
know.
weird. Licorice
Uh,
Pizza's on there, which also has Bradley Cooper in it.
Really?
Yeah.
it's a 91%. The critics, 65% audience on Licorice.
Dune's on there.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Is it good?
I thought it was fine. It was another one of those where you're like, wow, the cinematography and the effort put into this, but did it really blow me away? No. That's how I felt about it.
So Justin,
King Richard, if we want another Will Smith.
I'm gonna say so. This since it's
Oh, King Richard didn't interest me.
your pick,
What?
where are we going to go with this?
What's Coda?
Okay. Well,
Well, let me ask. So, okay.
I have a pick lined up for non if we'd want to go non-Oscar routes, you guys just decide.
What?
If we wanna
I'm
keep
good
it
either
That's what I was
way.
gonna say. If you have a solid pick you're good with, let's go with your pick, and we can always do the Oscars
as the fan pick.
as the fan pick the next go around.
Okay.
See, and depending on what
Yeah.
wins, it could be the winner or
Uh-huh.
something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
So we can read it. So if you got a solid pick, let's
Yep.
go with that.
The Tinder Swindler.
The Tinder Swindler.
What?
Available now on Netflix.
Oh boy.
This will get the conversation going.
Ooh. Okay, I've not seen the previews, but I seen the poster on my Netflix queue the other night. And it's like, oh, that's going to be good. And I'm just basing off the. I have no idea what the story's about, but just seeing the poster, it's like, oh, that's going to be good. I want to see that. Justin,
Yeah, this is a bit of an exception to my usual rule of just shooting from the hip.
So this is a newer one.
This is one I've seen and thought this would be good for the podcast. This will be a lot to talk about. On this.
I want to ask you.
2022.
I want to ask you if it will interest me, but I don't want to. I don't want to ruin it. I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited?
Who's in this?
It's a documentary.
Is it really?
Yep.
I don't even recognize any of the people in it. They're all foreign,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. A lot of
like Swedish or
Swedish, yeah. Mhm.
Finnish actors. Huh.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Wow, it's got a 93% like this movie on Google users, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.2 on IMDb. Huh. Okay. I have
Justin,
not heard that.
you have my attention, sir.
good deal.
I don't know. How'd you pick this one out?
I just watched it the other week and
You already seen it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
thought to myself, man, this will be a lot to talk about that's probably not even related to the movie. It'll spark some conversation.
Well, I'm telling you now, I'm going back to the 80s, boys.
Good. I like the
Ooh.
80s picks.
Because, we're
Okay.
throwing out these new movies, and I just can't take it. I'm getting shakes.
Well, I've already got my pick lined up too. It's a '90s flick,
I watched something last week. What was
but I'm still digging from the. What about Bob Well? So there's.
it? What's, man, I watched the movie, and it had an awesome soundtrack. Shoot. I can't even think of the movie. But it's one of those good soundtracks. It had like Billy Joel and
Yeah.
just a good soundtrack. Good 80s soundtrack.
Okay, Justin, I'm going to ask:
Tinder
Does
Swindler.
the Tinder Swindler?
Tender Swindler.
It's kind of hard to say.
Whoa.
Oh, excuse me. It's a good thing I had a mask on.
Yeah.
Is the Tinder Swindler kind of along the lines of
Facebook?
the Social Dilemma?
Like, is
No.
it that much of a documentary, or is it more of a movie?
Oh, straight up documentary with interviews of these people who have been swindled.
Really?
Okay.
Because it reads like it's a movie.
No, it's.
I mean, it won't spoil anything to say that.
Yeah, it
this
says
guy's
it's a.
able to get a lot of money out of people. That's something that's come up on the Joe Show. Just
Yeah.
people that are able to prey on other people and get their
Yeah.
money. But the way he does it is pretty.
Pretty
Indeed.
conniving. I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Well,
This
that's it then.
As you hear it, the little blurb, and you're like, millions of dollars? How's this possible? And then you
And then
Figure
you
it
watch
out.
it.
you get to
All right.
see
That's
the
the-
details.
Hold on. Save it for next week,
That's
gentlemen.
like what's that documentary about the McDonald's monopoly?
Oh yeah. With Ray Kroc and
No,
no, that was the guy's name, Ray Kroc.
No, that was
With the game pieces and all that?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. What you're
Oh
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're
got-
talking
I know
about how
what you're
McDonald's
I'm
came
talking
to
about
Oh,
the McDonald's game. Yeah, McDonald's Monopoly.
yeah. Monopoly documentary. Here we go. It's a good one. McMillions.
I never saw that one.
Oh man,
I haven't either.
It's on HBO Max. It's like a 6-episode deal.
Yeah.
Man, it is. Talk about a wild ride.
Yeah.
That's it. And how they rigged that.
We just found Joe's next pick.
Now it's a 6-series deal.
Well, that's okay. How long is each one?
An hour.
Damn.
Trust me. Okay.
I'm just saying that might take me a little while to watch.
No. It goes by.
I know. I'm just saying, like, finding 6 hours.
Well, it's one of those we could do an episode a week breakdown.
Yeah. I just mean because it's I don't know. It takes me forever to watch anything. I don't have TV, so.
But
This
yeah,
one's
the,
under 2 hours.
I gotta
thankfully.
purposely sit down and watch these, and usually I watch them the night before. So
yeah, the
I'm
McMillian,
like, crap, I haven't watched anything.
the McMillions deal. How it's one of those. It was so foolproof, but yet so easy. How they scammed it. It's like stupid simple.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next
All right.
week is
So the
wrap
Tinder
us up. Yeah.
episode 49 next week.
Yeah.
Tune in, everybody.
for the
and
Tinder
watch,
Swindler.
Tinder Swindler on Netflix.
I'm almost tempted to watch it tonight.
Justin's pick.
'Cause I'm usually just save it to the weekend, but I'm almost tempted to watch
Yeah.
it tonight.
Take some
Nice.
notes and bring those in. Next
All
week.
right. All right, so for all of our news and reviews, be sure to go to our website, beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to follow us on social media at BTWTPod. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And let us know how we're doing. Let us know if we're hitting the reviews right or if we're missing the reviews. And let the guys know if Howard the Duck is really that bad or not. And or how Justin completely undershot Die Hard. And just any nonsense that Dave throws our way. All these quote-unquote mop buckets that Dave throws at us.
Hey, for number 50, I gotta have something special, and
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
do I have it.
Good.
You know, number 50 fell on my watch. Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
That wasn't by accident.
And so help me if it's
That's
Mad
not a
Max.
coincidence.
If it's Mad Max 3, I will skip that round.
Fury Road, baby, Fury Road.
So be sure to and send us your recommendations. We've got a list, a playlist set up that we can randomly pick a movie off that list.
And I'm kind of into the category. Send us a category to pick from because I
Ooh,
really like the
yeah.
whole Oscar deal. I mean, I wouldn't have even thought to go there. So,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Nice work there.
So send us any idea and we'll either
Keep us entertained.
we will either take it up for consideration or just make fun of it.
There you go. Well, yeah, it
But-
could go either way. You never really know.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
It's a win-lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Been there, watch that. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
All right. Well, for myself, Justin, and Joe, we've been there. We've watched it. We've talked about it. We've slandered Justin a little bit. So, you know. No, I'm joking. All right. Everybody come back and join us next week for the
Tinder?
Swindler.
Yes.
Tinder
Yes.
Swindler. Whew. There we go. All right. Then we'll be back for show 50.